What up? What up? What up? Welcome back to another edition of the Bad Podcast. Brad and Dawain in here with my brother Brad, and we're live inside of the Eager to Run Club, the free run club. If you're not a part, please join it. It's free. It's a run club. What more can you ask for? But anyway, Brad, what are we talking about today, brother?
Free. Hey, man, we got a special guest, and being in the Eager to Run Club, we're going to talk about running today, but we're going to talk about preparation as well. So I got a quote: "Luck is a matter of preparation meeting opportunity," and that's from the one and only Oprah.
Oprah, Big O. All right, y'all, let's get it.
Hey, good job, guys. Good job. Mental battles. Mental battles.
Hey, man, each man for life, baby. What it look like, what it be like, what it do. Back in here, another episode of the Bad Podcast, man. And we are super excited to come with another episode, man. First of all, we always got to shout out those that are listening, those that are watching live. I see y'all jumping in. We're live in the Eager to Run Club. And we have a special guest that we're excited to talk to. And Brad, man, I'm gonna toss it to you, man, because I know you're gonna say he's gonna let him introduce himself. So I'm gonna let you say that part and we'll get into it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have this new guest on the podcast today. This was somebody that a good friend of mine told me about and said, "Hey, you got to interview this guy." So, Tucker, I want you to take it away and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, good morning. Stoked to be here. A little about myself. Well, this is a great spot for me to jump in and join you guys because running's been a big part of my life for many years. Ran my first 5K when I was 8 years old, and I've been running ever since. And I'm a full-time running coach. I coach endurance athletes of all ages and abilities, and I also do that sort of stuff myself, from trail running to road marathons and everything kind of in between. So running's a big part of everything I do. I also coach high school track and cross country. But outside of that, I'm based in Colorado. I'm a big skier, hiker, everything outside, and love to just get outside and move.
Did you go to Colorado State?
No, I did not. Great question, though. I am rocking my Colorado State sweatshirt. This is one of my high school seniors committed to run at Colorado State. So I'm now a Colorado State fan.
That's amazing. I don't have a lot of ties to Colorado State, but I do have a former student athlete that is a track and field. He's a pole vaulter at Colorado. And I'm a big Colorado guy because I'm a big Dion guy, man. Prime time is my guy. Hey, let's jump right into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is you said all ages and all abilities. The abilities part that is the thing that I'm kind of looking at here because we're live in the Eager to Run Club, and we have all sorts of abilities. We have some really good runners in here, and we have some people that have just maybe lost 50 pounds, lost 100 pounds, and they're looking to take an adventure. They're looking to dip their toes in the water, so to speak, and get into the run game. So you have a lot of experience across the board with all sorts of levels of running. What's one piece of advice as far as preparation go? What's one piece of advice you can give to somebody that's just dipping their toes in the water with long distance running?
Yeah, I would say I think a mistake that a lot of people make early on is they choose their training plan based on where they want to be and not where they are at. And it's really important to train, where you are at, where your abilities are at, because if you try to train in a way, maybe you find a plan online that says, run a 5K in under 30 minutes, you may not be there. You may not be able to follow that schedule. You may not be able to run 4 or 5 days a week without having your body break down or without burning out and all of that. So, the way that I like to approach an athlete is kind of figure out where they're at and gradually work up from there. So that I think is a big key. The race day is obviously really exciting and important and fun. I've seen some of the videos of what you guys do, and it's incredible. The energy, the excitement, the community is phenomenal. But it's the training that's really important. That's what is helping you improve your health and improve your abilities on race day. And I think sometimes we get caught up thinking about the race and not focusing as much on the training. And I think we sometimes need to step back and look at where we're at, look at where we want to be, and kind of gradually work up to that.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say something, and I don't know if you want to say anything to this, Dawain, but I think it was Tom Brady that said you don't win championships on Sundays. You don't win championships at the Super Bowl. It's all that preparation. Tom Brady's working in June, July, August, September. So when he hits the road running in February, when he's on the turf in Arizona or whatever, he's ready. And it's the same concept. You don't succeed on race day. If you show up on race day looking to run a 5K or looking to run 13.1 miles, sorry, that's just not reality, right? And it's all about that. It's all about that preparation. It's about getting a blueprint in your hand saying, I need to be where I'm at. I need to be where my feet are, right? And accepting that maybe 30 minutes isn't in my cards yet. Not today. It could be, but I got to start with day one. If I want to jump ahead to day 7, that's how you experience injury right there. That's how you experience a setback is trying to do too much and taking too big of a chunk.
Yeah, man. So I will not have a lot to say when it comes to running. Excuse me, but I will say, I remember when with E2M, I know you don't know Tucker, but I lost over 70 pounds with the program, and I remember the whole like wanting to be a runner. It was short lived, but I remember like wanting that 30-minute 5K once I realized what it was. So and you kind of talk to it, man, the whole preparation, because only thing I could think about was the actual race. Like I wasn't thinking about what do I need to do to train, what do I need to do to prepare. Do I have, even down to the shoes, Brad? We even had an episode talking about footwear, like what shoes I need, whatever. So I'm glad you talked about, that part as far as like the training aspect of it, and really focusing on that, because the race is glorified. Like you said, we making a big event, but it's all the steps leading up to it, man. So I really like that you touched on that, and I could tell a lot of people in the comments resonated with that. Yep. And being a coach, I know that's something that you preach all the time, man. What are some other like things that you even if you're taking on a client, some things that you kind of instill in them outside of the training aspect?
Yeah, I think a big thing for me is that I coach primarily by using time and perceived effort to guide our training. And I think that's oftentimes a bit of a transition because we're often so tied into, the result. And, I come from a running side, but I think this is true in any other area as well, whether it be weightlifting or, anything else, is like, we're trying to always kind of be doing better than we did yesterday. And that's not how it works. You have to understand the way the body works is that we apply stress and then we need to rest and we need to recover. And so if you're always trying to, run faster, lift more than you did the previous day, that's not realistic. And it's a good way to, again, get hurt. So the approach that I use is by using time and perceived effort. So, most of the training that my athletes will see on their schedule is, say a 30-minute run at an easy effort, or, 45-minute run with 2 by 6 minutes at a comfortably hard effort, and taking away the like, constantly checking the watch and seeing, all right, am I doing better than I was yesterday? Am I running fast enough today? And instead tuning into how you're feeling. And because some days, I go out for a run and some days my easy effort could be 30, 40 seconds slower than it was previously, based on how I slept or stress, or maybe I had a hard workout yesterday and today I'm just feeling, a little bit sore and fatigued. And so I think by using perceived effort, that helps take away the pressure of like, well, am I running the pace that I should be running? So that's something that I try to help my athletes understand.
Yeah, you said something there with your voice that goes off. Like, am I as good as I was yesterday? And that when that voice goes off, man, that's a big mental. That's a battle that we have to face often, especially in running. Like the mental state is huge. Can you touch on the importance of being mentally tough when it comes to running?
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, we're in a metrics driven world, and
Amen.
we're always wanting to look at the watch and see what our pace is saying, see how many miles we're doing. And there's always that comparison of, whether it's going out for just a 30-minute easy run, or whether it's doing a workout or a race. We're always wanting to chase that progress, which is awesome, and it keeps us coming back for more. But sometimes you have to take a step back in order to take 2 steps forward. And so I think, one, just preparing yourself mentally that it doesn't look like this. There are going to be peaks and valleys.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an important thing to kind of shift your mindset to just understanding that there's going to be some ups and downs, and that doesn't mean that you're getting worse or that you're not good. Just understand that it's part of that natural progression. Other mental skills. I mean, I think running is especially great for building that mental toughness, because running is hard. You are 100% responsible for moving your body. There is no mechanical aid like there is on a bike. There's no easy way out. You are taking every single step. And so I think just gradually working up and building your running and doing some harder workouts, I think is just a phenomenal way to build that mental toughness over time. I think if you can mix in some harder things, I'm a big fan of hills. I know people are maybe not always based in areas where there are hills, easy access to hills, but hills are a phenomenal way to work on your mental toughness, and they also really help to work on your form. But yeah, hills are always hard. And so if you don't have hills nearby, I think a great way to do this is by finding a stairwell, finding a parking garage, anything that has an incline, and going uphill for 15 to 30 seconds and pushing yourself. And that's a great way to kind of callous the mind and do tough things.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, man. I wait a minute, Brad.
Hey, take the floor, my friend. Take the floor.
No, man. So what you said so many like really, really dope things, man. One thing that stood out to me just because of what I'm doing, I apply what you just mentioned to weightlifting, because I am prepping for a show, and I do have a little app that I track the weight that I use each time. And what I've learned with bodybuilding, kind of like you mentioned, like you're not going to go up every week. Like every time you come in, you're not going to go up in weight. Like in my mind, I want to add 5 pounds every time. But does that 5 pounds, put a strain on my body? Am I losing my form? And you really have to be consistent and precise and be willing to soften the ego. Like, okay, not going up 5 pounds on this bench press. I'm gonna stay right here. I'm gonna get my reps in. I'm gonna stick to that, man. So that really spoke to me, man, because that's something that and I always say it comes from the football high school mentality where you want to keep going up. You want to get on the 1,000-pound club or whatever. You just keep wanting to push, man. But what I'm finding out is just really focus, training and just really not necessarily data driven, but super intentional with what I'm doing. So I just wanted to go back to that because that spoke to me, like, for real. I was like, yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah, for sure. And unfortunately, running is a very high impact activity. And so I find that the athletes I work with who do come from that team sport background, who grew up playing football, basketball, hockey, whatever it may be, where especially for, I think, the generation of us, that grew up more in the no pain, no gain, coaches screaming and yelling kind of era. I think that's slowly changing a little bit. It's hopefully coaches are more positive and understanding and supportive of their athletes. But, back in the day, it was like, if you didn't have a broken bone, get back out there, and push through it.
Absolutely.
And in running, no pain, no gain is like the worst possible mentality you could have. You need to be able to listen to your body and tune in. Okay, how am I feeling? And adjust from there. And I think that's where having a coach, having somebody to talk to is really helpful, because a lot of us, if left to our own devices, we're going to go out there. We see, okay, I've got a 30-minute, tempo run today. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do that workout because it's on my schedule. And having somebody to talk to and say, you know what, I'm feeling a little discomfort in my hip. And that's where, I have a coach as well, because he's going to help me say, all right, you know what, today, actually, this is a good opportunity to take a day off, give your body the time it needs to, to rest, recover, repair. So yeah, I think that the team sport athletes are often a bit of a challenge for me as a coach, because they do often come in with that mentality of push through and got to, if I don't show the coach that I can, get out there again and push through this and get out for the next play, then I'm not going to get my minutes. And that's not the mentality to have in running.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to call those rest days versus test days, and you got to kind of comprehend the difference between the two. I coach football for a lot of years, and the times and the tides are turning where, when I played football, man, it was always contact at practice, man. We followed through with the tackle, man. We were down to the ground. Nowadays, it's almost touch football at practice, because why would you risk the injury of your players? But anyways, when you talk about, there's two things that I picked up what you laid down there. First and foremost, when you go back to the peaks and the valleys, right? The peaks teach you appreciation, man. When you're on top of the world, you can appreciate all the hard work that's behind you at the bottom of the hill and all the trials and tribulations that you face to get to the top. And you're in the valleys. That is actually probably more important, because when you're in the valleys of life, that teaches you patience. When you say that you have to slow down your pace to a conversation pace, you got to slow down or lower your weight for reps. That teaches you patience. You appreciate that time that you are soaking in under the bench press or soaking in out on the road, man. When you tell me if my pace is 9 minutes, but you're telling me I got to run a mile in 10 minutes. Oh man, to slow that time down, that is incredibly hard. But man, we know that patience is an absolute key component to thriving in life, thriving in running, thriving in the physique world. And the second thing that I had was when you talk about a coach, you said you have a coach. You're a superb runner. You have a lot of accolades. You've done a lot of things. You have a lot of great accomplishments in the run world, but you have a run coach. And The Rock has a run coach, man. Mr. Dwayne Johnson has a coach. And I think a lot of times when you think about a great, The Rock, my man Tucker, you think about the greats, Tom Brady, they have coaches because, they are great all by themselves. But when you talk about tapping in on life, you talk about maxing out on life, you got to have a coach that's not only passionate, but knowledgeable. And passion goes a long way. And if you want the best out of your client, you want the best out of your player, you got to be passionate, man. I was in teaching for 10 years. I saw a lot of great teachers with no passion. You get no results. I've seen mediocre teachers with a lot of passion get maximal results because you care about that thing. You're somebody that cares about your runners. You're somebody that cares about your clients. My man Dawain, myself, we care about our clients. That's passion. And you also have to take that tangible of knowledge. you know what you're talking about. So if you're trying to seek out a coach, if somebody's watching right now live, if you're trying to seek out a coach, go to somebody that has some passion and love for what they do. Tucker's the guy, man. We have coaches in here that love what they do and they're passionate about their clients and they're knowledgeable. All right, so passion and knowledge go a long way. And hey, I want to open up the floor before I turn it over to you guys for some Q&A, man. If you have any questions, if you're watching live, man, this is your time to drop a question in, and Tucker, myself, and Dawain will do our absolute best to give you an answer. But I like where this conversation's going because I have a lot of relatability as far as coaching goes and teaching. Man, I miss teaching, but the coaching side of things has picked up that slack. So I appreciate what you do, man, and it does sound like you're passionate, and obviously you have a lot of knowledge and I'll have a lot to offer.
Yeah, can I add one thing?
Yeah, man.
There's a quote. I should know who this quote is from before I say it. But anyways, I really like it. It is, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so I like what you said there. You talked about passion almost, more than you did. And you talked about it before. You talked about the knowledge piece. And so, yeah, I think that is something that resonates with me and with a lot of people as well, is that, like, you could be the most knowledgeable person in the world, but if you don't show somebody that you care, it's probably not going to get across. So that's something that I try to keep top of mind is just, showing my athletes that I care about them as a person first and foremost, and being there for them, no matter what life throws at them. And then, they know that I know my stuff, but it doesn't matter if I know my stuff if I don't care about them.
Yeah. There's a lot of teachers and coaches out there with no jobs because they have no passion and drive for what they do. We do have one question. Dawain, can you read that question? I can't see it.
Put it on the screen for you.
Hey, how about it?
All right, this is from Brent, some guy named Brent. We don't know who he is, but he said, "What's up, Tucker? Are there some cues for runners to gauge perceived effort while running? Yes. Are there some cues? I guess they can gauge that is his question.
Yeah, great question, Brent, and shout out to Brent for connecting us. Really appreciate it. He's definitely one of those athletes I was talking about earlier. He's the no pain, no gain guy.
120%.
Yes. Sit down somewhere, Brent.
But yeah, he's doing awesome, and he's really, kind of shifted his mindset towards being able to train at an easier effort and not be pushing every day, which has helped him out a lot. So what are some cues for runners to gauge perceived effort while running? I think the one that you probably will hear about the most is conversational pace. The challenge is not everybody is out running with somebody else every session. So that can be a challenge. Something I like to think about and encourage my athletes to think about is, when you finish an easy run, you should be able to say that you could have gone longer and you could have gone faster. Both. And a lot of people will finish and they're like, yeah, I could have gone faster, but I don't know if I could have gone much longer if I was going a faster pace. So I think that's a good way to think about it. Should be able to go faster, should also be able to have gone longer. There's some other ones as well. One that I think is a little bit more, in the moment, kind of a check-in with yourself, is called breath rate. So trying to kind of align your breathing with your steps, with your cadence. And so if you're running an easy run, the run is designed to be at an easy effort. You should be able to maintain a 3-3 breath rate. So that's 3 steps for a breath in, 3 steps for a breath out. It's not a perfect science, but I think it can be helpful. And if you're at more of a 2-2 breath rate, that's a good indication that you should probably slow down if you're supposed to be going easy. 2-2 breath rate is kind of more in that gray area into that threshold zone, kind of a comfortably hard tempo type style run. And then if you get into the range where you're taking like 2 steps for a breath in, 1 step for a breath out, or 1 step for a breath in, 2 steps for a breath out, then you're kind of more in that like 5K kind of effort. Those are your intervals, your harder sessions. So breath rate is a helpful way to gauge that. But conversational pace, if you are with somebody, if you can maintain like full sentences or close to full sentences and talk while you're running, at least like getting out 3 or 4 words between breaths. That's a good way to do it. You can also sing if you're out on a run by yourself. I know you might look or feel a little goofy, but sing a little bit on a run, see if you can get it, almost a full sentence out. That's a good way to kind of check in with yourself. If you're going, a little bit too hard on those easy runs and you're trying to have a conversation with somebody, then, you may notice you're only able to, say 1 or 2 or maybe 3 words without having to take a breath. So conversational pace is definitely a good one as well.
Nice. We got another one. It says, how do you control your breathing while running, while we're talking about breath rate and such?
Well,
No pressure.
I think this is another one that is kind of learned over time.
Mm-hmm.
As you were mentioning, Brad, I think the ego kind of gets in our way sometimes when you do have to shift that. Okay, I'm usually running 9-minute pace, but today I need to run a 10-minute pace. Something like that. I'm a big fan of walk breaks. I think that's a tough thing for some individuals to grapple with, is like they think of walking as kind of the enemy. If I'm going out for a run, I should be running the whole time. That's not the case. If you are, the best way that you can improve as a runner is to run longer, getting more time of exposure to these stimulus. So the best way to do that is by slowing down, right? If you're right now, you're only capable of going out and running consistently for 30 minutes and you can't get over that 30-minute barrier, I would encourage you to take a 30 to 60 second walk break every 5 minutes. And then you may notice that at 30 minutes, you actually still feel like you can go another 5 minutes or another 10 minutes. So yes, you're taking those walk breaks, which might feel like you're not running, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, but it's allowing you to be, exposed to exposing your body to that stimulus of that easy effort running for longer. So you're going to get more benefits. So I think that's a great way. I kind of answered the question in an odd way, but for breathing purposes, if you notice that your breath rate is not controlled and your breath rate's going up and the effort is going up and it's feeling challenging, take a walk break. Let your heart rate, let your breath rate come back down, and then, get back into running once you feel like you're recovered. I also think, you may hear about like nasal breathing and things like that, but I'm a big believer that like whatever is most comfortable for you to just get air into your lungs and take in some oxygen is great. So don't overthink it and try to keep that breathing as controlled and comfortable as possible. And hopefully that helps.
I love that because everyone's a little different, man. And some people can't do the nasal boy. And I've tried. I'm okay at it, but I need air in my lungs. Well, however I can get air in my lungs,
Yeah,
that's how I do it, man. That's good stuff.
Listen, I was about to call you out, Brad. I was like, Brad did the whole tape on the mouth thing, trying to miss the extreme. Man, I'll be somewhere laid out, bro. Like that I ain't even gonna play with it.
Yeah.
Let's see. You got any more questions?
Shelly Davis just dropped one.
Yeah, I see it. There it is. What's the average split pace for a mile?
So
these are such easy questions. Thank you.
So I'm taking that question as, what is the average mile pace for the general population? Is that what you think she's asking there?
I'm assuming.
It's a pretty wide open question, Tucker. So you can give a wide open answer.
Do it
for sure. Wide open question. I would say there is no average in my mind. I mean, I'm sure if you took in all the data, yeah, you could probably come up with an average, but whatever is best for you is what your average kind of mile pace should be. And it's really interesting. I mean, I've trained with some really great groups over the years and gotten to know a lot of really talented runners. And I would say most athletes that I run with in workouts and on easy run days and in any group runs, most of the runners that try to go faster than I do, I beat on race day. I run, if you were to take, my race results and all of that, and compare that to the athletes that, I often am training with, I think a lot of them end up kind of pushing the pace too much, too often. And so that's always been a valuable lesson for me, is that, like you were kind of saying, Brad, there, we're not testing ourselves in training. We test ourselves on race day. So trying to shift away from thinking about what are we running, what pace are we running, how many miles are we running, and focus on doing what's best for our bodies on the given day. And then on race day, we can actually try and, push ourselves and test ourselves. And if you want to, judge yourself, see how you're progressing over time, but try not to judge yourself on every single training run, because there is no pace that you should be running on any session. There really isn't. One day you might be feeling great and you might be running a 9:30 pace, and then the next day you might not feel so great and you might be running a 11-minute pace, and it feels the same, and that's okay.
Excellent
Awesome.
answer. Yeah.
Great answer. And she even said thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So I guess we're going to transition, B. Thank you guys for the questions. We're going to do, we already prepared Tucker for this segment, fun segment we do every week. It is going to pop up after this video.
Do you know?
All right. So this is the Do You Know or Did You Know segment. Tucker, you have plenty of time to think about it. Tell the folks live and replaying a Do You Know or Did You Know fact about yourself.
All right. Well, I did have plenty of time to think about this one, but I always think this is a tough question to answer. I play this game with my high school kids, as an icebreaker of like, tell us an interesting fact about yourself. And I feel like most of the time I get answers like, my favorite color is green. And I'm like, that's not very interesting. So my go-to is usually that I'm a twin, because a lot of people don't know that about me.
It's a good one.
I have a twin sister who is 1 minute older than me. She's the only sibling that I have. So it's pretty cool experience to share, every minute of our lives together. So that's kind of my go-to interesting fact. But the one that kind of popped into my mind, which might take us in a different direction than the normal answer to this question, is just that, something that I have, often not shared with people over the years, is that, I've dealt with mental health issues throughout my life. And it's something that just in the last few years I've become more comfortable talking about openly. So I've dealt with anxiety and depression throughout much of my life. And what I've noticed is that by sharing that more openly with people, one, it feels good to kind of not feel like keeping that inside. And two, the amount of conversations I've had with people where they've shared their challenges and shared kind of what they're going through. And I feel like it just kind of opens that door for people to share that more openly and not feel like they are alone in dealing with whatever struggles they have. So figured I would just share that.
Yeah.
That's perfect, man.
Dawain, we need to have a follow-up podcast with Tucker, talking about this topic, because I think this is a powerful one.
Set it up, man. You're the scheduler, man.
Yay. Well done.
Nah, man. So Tucker, man, we appreciate you sharing both of those, man. Super the twin thing is super cool. And one of our very first podcasts was about the mental health aspect of just people in fitness, because it is something that needs to be talked about more, and we will try our best to get you back on the schedule to talk about that, man, because it's a topic that a lot of the fitness world they're leaving out. Everybody's motivational, inspirational. I mean, we're good at it too, but that's a layer that's missing. And it kind of reminds me of what you mentioned about the old school, football days. You're not hurt. It's like mental issues. Well, you better get back on that field. Like like put some dirt on it, man, and keep going. But it shows a testament to the development, and even for myself, just understanding those things and just kind of being open and transparent about that. So we really, really appreciate that, brother. Thank you for your time and coming on Colorado time. We know it's a little earlier there, so we definitely appreciate that. Man, to everybody watching live, man, thank y'all for making this fun. Thank you for the questions. For those watching on YouTube and listening on the podcast, man, we appreciate y'all, man. Every week, it is an honor to step behind the microphone and bring you some new content, man. And Brad, what you want to say, man, before we go?
Hey, Tucker, just want to appreciate, just send my appreciation to you, man. You're a role model. You're somebody that leads through action, and everybody that's watching this, understand that leadership is an action. It's not a position. Let's go.
I love it. Till next time, y'all.
Yeah.